Every morning, as I sip on my first delicious cup of coffee in the morning and tend to the garden, one of my tasks is to remove the spent sunflowers from the volunteers that have appeared in my main garden. My goal as I collect these heads of these sunflowers is to bring them over to my peace garden, where I can actually allow the volunteers to do exactly what they want and they can take over all they want. So come on, let's grow as I show you more. Good morning. My name is Sherry, and I want to welcome you to the Grow You Girl channel and welcome you here to my garden. I am coming to you this morning to share with you. We're going to be talking about sunflowers today. I just snipped one off here, and what volunteering sunflowers look like. You've probably seen them many times. And I also want to share with you this morning one of the reasons the big reason that I started this YouTube channel is to, Abby just hit the camera base. I've got Abby and Luna here in the garden with me too, hanging around, because we come out here every morning to this time of year. I love this time of year. The garden is in full bloom. Everything's happening. Tomatoes are just, we're having more tomatoes than we know what to do with these mornings, these days. And look, there's a little spider on this sunflower. Uh, but I wanted to come today to talk about not so much the how-tos, but how gardening makes you feel. That's really what my message is about. It's how gardening makes you feel, what it makes you feel. It can be a lot of work sometimes, but when you come to it with the mindset of the reciprocity and that you're giving back and it's giving to you, there's a whole different thing. I am currently writing a book, and yesterday I wrote about how coming into the garden, even in times of grief. Yesterday was an emotional day for me writing. I was writing about the death of my mother and how this garden saved me when I lost her 17 years ago. And it's really using your garden to be a part of your life, or any kind of plants you have, even if it's a plant on your balcony. Or as a friend said, what about on my fire escape? Could I have one on my fire escape? Absolutely. And so this morning, we're going to dive into sunflowers. I just snipped this one off. And you know, the thing with sunflowers is if you look at the head of a sunflower, they have hundreds of seeds inside of them. And I end up with a lot of volunteers here in my garden. And what I want to do this morning is take you around. I'll show you where they've popped up here and there in the main garden, as well as some that I have intentionally planted. And then I'm going to take you over to my peace garden, because my goal with my sunflowers is to get them out of the main garden. I know I won't do that 100%, but to get them over to the peace garden and really have them over there so the birds can enjoy them at their leisure, and I don't have to worry about them spreading all over the garden. I love coming out here in the morning in my pajamas with my girls, Abby and Luna, and just really just being at peace with the garden. It's my favorite time of day with the garden. It's not too hot yet. The world is still quiet. You know, it's just me and the garden. So with that, let's take a walk around, and I'll talk more about the importance of watching the seeds and how volunteers can, sometimes you don't even, I have a whole bed over here that I don't even plant because these come up, and I'm trying to change that, move it to the peace garden. But let's go. Let's grow, and let's take a walk around the garden. Okay, well, here are some of my initial volunteers right here with my black-eyed Susans and echinacea here in this bed. And they seem to come up here pretty regularly every year. And again, I've been snipping away at them. And one thing I want to, and oh, actually, there's one over here in my zinnia bed as well that I just didn't have the heart to pull out. But I did pull a couple out, but this one I left in. I felt like it was harmless. One thing I wanted to let you know, here's a few more volunteers of Morning Glories, which I happen to love as well. And I featured a Morning Glory sunflowers this week. I've been doing what's called ASMR, is something I'm learning more about, which stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. And I'm doing those every morning now through the gardening season at least, just to have like 20 minutes of just peace in the morning. So be sure to subscribe and you'll be notified when I go live with those every morning, except for Sunday when I bring these videos to you. Now, this is my wildflower garden, part of the garden, and so of course there's sunflowers in here that come up along with many others that come up in this part of the garden, and that I'll be snipping. But some I just leave because I want this part of the garden is a little bit more my wild side of the garden. There's Luna. Hey Lou, how's it going? Another little wildflower here is this, I started to say morning glory. I've got quite a few morning glories too, but this is actually a sweet pea. It's a wild sweet pea that somehow got into my garden, which is actually a perennial that keeps coming back, and it has been absolutely lovely. So it is interesting when we let things reseed in the garden, and I want to, you know, share with you one bed that I experiment with, but wait, oh, but wait, there's this bed as well. And this is my original sunflower bed that they are just so hardy in this bed that I can't get them out. I've also put in Mexican sunflowers this year. I did an ASMR on that this week as well, that I actually grew from seed in the house in my grow room, and then brought them out here. But you can see that they, they don't care where they grow. And this is right here in my whiskey barrel that these have grown, and I went ahead and I've pulled some, but I left some too. Which brings us over to this bed that I have intentionally planted these seeds because I really loved this. Oh, look at these little guys in the sunflower. They are busy at work this morning. Let me come around to this other side because I also planted what is called teddy bear flowers, sunflowers, but they haven't bloomed yet. They are just taking their sweet little time. I'll pop up a picture here of what the teddy bear looks like because they are the sweetest sunflowers. I just love them. And I cannot seem to get them to volunteer. So I can't even get them to open. Oh, look at the sprinklers are going off this morning. Yeah, hey, I used to have this bed was full of sunflowers, but one thing with sunflowers for sure is that they do bring a lot of, bees are great, but the yellow jackets, which I get, we've had a lot here this year, also grow. And since this is an eating area for us, etc., and my she shed is right here. It just wasn't ideal to have all of those sunflowers right here. So I'm going to take my little basket that is filled with sunflower heads, and we're going to head over to the west and over to the peace garden. Okay, and you can see that metal fence is to keep the grasshoppers. We have a lot of grasshoppers out here in the field, out of the main garden, but there's the main garden, and I'm taking the path out here. And you can see this is pretty wild land here. We've planted these two trees. When we started this garden, I had this idea to do this peace garden and just start getting some Colorado native plants out here, as well as drought tolerant plants, which of course the sunflowers are. And I've got my little basket of sunflowers, and I'll put a link below of how the whole peace garden came together, how we put the path in, and everything that made the peace garden come together. But you'll see here I have all these from this year. I've been doing this for weeks now. I just keep bringing out these heads. I don't do anything with them. I just place them in the dirt, and voila, these are what came from last year. I've also got a few other plants in here, some junipers and a yucca a Colorado native yucca that I have in here. But these were the sunflowers that came from last year, which have just been amazing and beautiful, and the birds have loved them, all the pollinators. They're just really lovely. And the only thing that I've really cut back is is the leaves sometimes. These are huge leaves. I will cut them back, and some of the seed heads too if they're coming too far over into the dirt, because I don't want them in the dirt in the main area of the peace garden here. Look at this one. Isn't she a beauty? Oh, so pretty. And this lemon yellow one. I just have really been surprised at some that have popped up here in the garden. But this is our peace garden. We put this little structure in this year, a little flag, reminding us about peace. And then I had this extra slate that I just put down to represent the sun, the moon, and the stars. And that, my friend, is the peace garden, a place to sit, a come and just be. And that's what your garden should be, is a place for you to be. And I just simply just take my little basket full of these heads and I just throw them out and just put them out. No, you don't need to bury them. You don't need to do anything. I like to keep them face up for the birds, so that the birds can enjoy them, or whatever critter might come along, and that also helps to spread the seeds as well. And that's truly what I wanted to share with you today, is just the beauty that we can spread around and enjoy in the peace of our gardens. And I always want to remind you that when we can grow our gardens with intention, belief, and love, we grow ourselves in the process. Thanks for growing with us. And we will see you next time. And in the meantime, be sure to like, comment, let us know what really resonated for you in this video. And then, of course, be sure to subscribe at no cost to you and be updated when we have new videos up to play.